Hello everybody, welcome to online class. We have reached to the last topic of the subject, that is audit committee. So today we'll try to complete the syllabus, complete the portion of the subject. Okay. So let's begin the today's topic, that is audit committee. An audit committee is one of the major operating committees of a company's board of directors that is in charge of overseeing financial reporting and disclosure. Okay. See, audit committee is one of the main pillar of the corporate governance mechanism in any company. Corporate governance means which governs the corporate activities, mechanisms. Okay, so audit committee is one of the pillar, one of the main important part of this corporate mechanism in any of the company, charged with the principal oversight of financial reporting and disclosure. The audit committee aims to enhance the confidence in the integrity of the company's financial reporting, the internal control processes and procedures, and the risk management systems. Under the Companies Act 1956, every public company in India having paid up capital of not less than rupees 5 crores was required to constitute an audit committee under section 292A. Please make a note of this. Under Companies Act 1956, every public company in India having paid up capital of not less than rupees 5 crores was required to constitute an audit committee under section 292A. The clause 49 of the listing agreement applicable only to the listed companies, right, requires all listed companies to duly constitute an audit committee with a prescribed set of responsibilities. Under the Companies Act 2013, the audit committee's mandate is significantly different from what was laid down under the section 292A of the Companies Act 1956, and its scope and constitution have also been broadened. The act mandates every listed company and certain other class or classes of companies to constitute an audit committee. Okay, now we'll understand what is applicability. When this means which all law will be applicable for forming the audit committee, that we will understand. We'll read this. The board of directors of every listed companies and the following classes of companies are prescribed under Rule 6 of Companies Act 2014 or 2013 shall constitute an audit committee. That is section 177 of the act. Read with Rule 6 of the companies. Okay, that is rules 2014. The board of directors of every listed company and some cases of companies is required to constitute an audit committee of the board. Then what are those cases or the classes of the companies which require the audit committee of the board? First one is all the public companies with a paid up capital of 10 crore rupees or more. Then all the public companies having turnover of rupees 100 crores or more, and all public companies having in aggregate outstanding loans or borrowings or debentures or deposits exceeding 50 crores rupees or more. The paid up share capital or turnover or outstanding loans or borrowers or borrowings or debentures or deposits, as the case may be, as existing on the date of last audited financial statements, shall be taken into account for the purposes of this rule. Okay, then what are the objectives of this audit committee? The first one is to oversight the responsibilities. Why this audit committee will be introduced? What is the main purpose or the objective of introducing this audit committee is, first one is to oversight the responsibilities relating to the corporation's financial statement, external auditors, risk management, compliance with the legal and regulatory requirements, and management information technology. Next, to maintain accounting, to maintain oversight of the corporation's accounting and financial reporting processes, to maintain the corporate accounting and financial reporting processes, then to maintain oversight of the audits of the corporation's financial statement, and to maintain oversight of the integrity of the corporation's financial statements, the reporting process, and its internal control over financial reporting. Then comes is to maintain the report, yes, to maintain the oversight of the reports. Qualifications are nothing but if the auditor is not satisfied with the financial statement or the balance sheet or the profit and loss account prepared by the company, that point should be mentioned, and those points will be known as qualifications. Independence and performance of the corporation's external auditor. Then to identify the risk, that is to maintain oversight, to maintain the weave of the corporation's risk identification, or to identify the risk involved in the corporations, assessing and managing the program. Then to maintain oversight of the corporation's compliance with applicable legal and regulatory requirements, and to maintain oversight of the corporation's management of information technology related to financial reporting and financial controls. And last objective is to maintain the information or maintenance of open channels of communications among management of the corporation, the external auditors and the board. Okay, these are what some of the main objectives of the audit committee. Next comes is composition of the committee, how the audit committee will be composed. Okay, that we will discuss. First thing is the audit committee shall consist of minimum 3 directors with independent directors forming a majority. Then the majority of the member of audit committee, including its chairperson, should be persons with ability to read and understand the financial statement. Okay, and the board's report under section 134 subsection 3 shall disclose the composition of an audit committee, and where the board had not accepted any recommendation of the audit committee, the same shall be disclosed in such report along with the reasons therefore. Okay, see, the audit committee shall consist of minimum of 3 directors with independent directors forming a majority. That is, there should be minimum 3 directors, and independent directors should also be there to form that majority of the audit committee. Then the majority of members of audit committee, including its chairperson, shall be persons with ability to read and understand the financial statement. The revised clause 49 of the listing agreement, effective from 1st October 2014, provides that audit committee of listed company shall have minimum 3 directors as members. 2/3 of the members of audit committee shall be independent directors, and all members of audit committee shall be financially literate, and at least 1 member shall have accounting or related financial management expertise. Okay, so this financially literate means what? It provides that the ability to read and understand basic financial statements, that is balance sheet, profit and loss account, and statement of cash flows, shall be treated as financial literacy. They should know regarding the balance sheet, profit and loss account. Many of the members will not be having the knowledge regarding the balance sheet and profit and loss account. Many of them do not understand what it includes, how it is prepared, why it is on a debit side and why it is on a credit side. For that purpose, they requires what? Financial literacy, right? So that word will be known as what? Financially literate. Okay, then further, it is provided that a member will be considered to have accounting or related financial management expertise if he or she possesses experience in finance or accounting, or requisite professional certification in accounting, or any other comparable experience or background which results in the individual's financial sophistication, including being or having been a chief executive officer, chief financial officer, or other senior officer with financial oversight responsibilities. The chairman of the audit committee shall be an independent director, and the chairman of the audit committee shall be present at annual general meeting to answer shareholder queries. Okay, the company secretary shall act as the secretary to the committee. This is how the composition will be done. Okay, that is, there will be minimum of 3 directors, independent directors will be also appointed, and any of the member of the committee should have the financial literacy, and the chairman of the committee shall be the independent director, and that independent director, that is that chairman of the audit committee, should be present at every annual general meeting so that he can answer for the queries of the shareholders. Okay, this is how the composition of the audit committee will be done. Next comes is functions of the committee. What are the main functions of the committee? Okay, under section 177 subsection 4 of the act provides that every audit committee shall act in accordance with the terms of reference specified in writing by the board. The terms of reference as prescribed by the board shall it should include. The first one is the recommendation. Okay, the recommendation for what? For appointment, for remuneration and terms of appointment of auditors of the company. Next comes is review and monitor. What they have to review and monitor? They have to review and monitor the auditor's independence and performance and effectiveness of the audit process. Okay, next is examination. So next function of audit committee is what? Examining the financial statement and the auditor's report. Okay, then approval. Yes, the next function is approval or any subsequent modification of transaction of the company with related to parties. Then comes is scrutiny of what? Intercorporate loans and investments. Then valuation. Yes, they have to evaluate of undertakings or assets of the company wherever it is necessary. Then internal financial control. Yes, audit committee has to evaluate internal financial controls and risk management systems of that particular company. Then monitoring. What they have to monitor? They have to monitor the end use of the funds raised through public offers and related matters. Okay, next comes is role of audit committee. What is the main role of the audit committee? Okay, the first one is reporting process. Yes, the first role of audit committee is to oversight the company's financial reporting process, to review the financial reporting process and the disclosure of its financial information to ensure that the financial statement is correct, sufficient and credible. Then appointment and removal. Yes, the next role or the responsibility of the audit committee is what? It is recommending the appointment and removal of external auditor, fixation of audit fee and also approval for payment for any other services. Okay, then reviewing management annual statement. Yes, the next responsibility of the audit committee is reviewing with management the annual financial statements before submission to the board. Focusing, mainly they have to focus on what? On any changes in accounting policies and practices, then major accounting entries based on exercise of judgment by management, then qualifications in draft audit report, then significant adjustments arising out of audit, then the going concern assumption, compliance with accounting standards, compliance with stock exchange and legal requirement considering financial statements, and if there is any related party transactions, then these all should be reviewed with management by the audit committee. Next comes is reviewing internal and external auditors. Yes, audit committee has to review the management, external and internal auditors and the adequacy of internal control system. Okay, then reviewing adequacy of what? Of internal audit function. Okay, how the internal audit will be conducted by the company, that should be reviewed. Then including the structure of the internal audit department, staffing and seniority of the official heading the department, reporting structure, coverage and frequency of internal audit, all these should be reviewed by the audit committee. Then discussion with internal auditors. Yes, audit committee has to discuss with the internal auditors regarding any findings or regarding any explanations, any clarifications. They have to discuss with the internal auditors. Then reviewing internal investigation. Yes, audit committee has to review the findings of any internal investigations by the internal auditors into matters where there is a suspected fraud or irregularities or a failure of internal control system of a material nature and reporting the matter to the board. Then discussed with external auditors. Yes, discussion with external auditors should be done by the audit committee before the audit commences about nature and scope of audit, as well as post audit discussion to ascertain any area of concern. Then reviewing the risk policies. Yes, audit committee has to review the company's financial and risk management policies. What all policies are introduced for improving the financial positions, improve means and overcoming the risk, and how the risk will be managed. Those policies should be reviewed by the audit committee. Then reviewing the defaults, yes, to look into, means audit committee has to look into the reasons for the substantial defaults in the payment to the depositors, debenture holders, shareholders in case of any non-payment of declared dividends and creditors. Okay, then those all things or areas should be properly verified by the audit committee before the commence of the audit work or the audit process. Okay, lastly it is powers of audit committee. What are the powers of audit committee, what all powers they have, that we will be discussing, what authorities they have with them. The first one is to call for comments of auditors. Yes, to call for the comments of the auditors about what, about internal control system, the scope of audit including the observations of the auditors and review of financial statements before their submission to the board. Next, to discuss issues. Yes, to discuss any related issues with the internal and statutory auditor and the management of the company. Then to investigate issues, to investigate into any matter in relation to the items or referred to it by the board. Then to obtain advice, to obtain professional advice from external sources, and to access information, to have full access to information contained in the records of the company. So with this we are done with your portion, your syllabus of the semester, of the 6th semester of the audit subject. So tomorrow we'll discuss some case studies which have appeared in the previous question papers. Okay, I will come up with the case studies, will explain you regarding that. Okay, how you have to write the case studies, that I will explain. Okay, so tomorrow's class is very important, please go through it and please be attentive. Okay, so we'll discuss that case study in the next class. Thank you.